Alright, what's going on everybody? Anime Ramble back with another episode. Today we'll be discussing Kaiju number 8, chapter 71. What is going on? Well, if you remember where we left off from chapter 70, Kaiju number 9 had finally made his move. We had the evil clone of Kikoru pop out, do her whole brainwave Kaiju number 8 signaling attack thing, and then you had all of these mole Kaiju and different types of Kaijus popping up at different prefectures all around Tokyo, and I had made the assumption, or I had speculated last video, so after this video, if you haven't seen that, go and check that out. But I had speculated that they're attacking important areas around Tokyo that were important to Japan's entire infrastructure, right? This chapter, the major part that I'm going to get into later is that they're doing just that, okay? Kaiju number 9 isn't just looking to simply crush the defense force. He wants to demoralize them by any means necessary, by cutting off all means of communication, all means of transportation, and just all means of just interacting with one another throughout the entirety of this chapter and moving forward. So, what happens at the beginning of chapter 71? Well, we pick up where we left off at the end of chapter 70, and that's with Toku being rescued by Narumi, Narumi coming on the scene, dealing with the Kaiju that was attacking the wedding, and Toku and everybody who was attending the wedding are now being evacuated to the shelters. What we didn't see last chapter was the actual severity of the attack that's happening at the wedding. So we only saw the one Kaiju. In this chapter, it's like 5 or 6, alright? Narumi is completely surrounded, but we get the information in this chapter that Narumi is the most dangerous life form in the immediate vicinity. I'm sure he's going to handle all of this. Actually, what am I saying? He did handle all of this chapter. He was able to debut Numbered Weapon 1 suit, the oldest known Dai Kaiju that was made into a numbered weapon. That is what he's toting into this battle. And I had made a mistake last chapter. I had called his bayonet the same bayonet that he was using way back when we had the Tokyo Bay situation and we were introduced to Narumi. It may just be the same bayonet, but it is severely upgraded. Why do I say that? Well, we already knew about Numbered Weapon 1, Dai Kaiju Numbered Weapon 1. We already knew about the whole eyes thing, right? The eyes of Dai Kaiju number 1 were able to see pretty much the very microscopic twitching motions of the muscles, which gave him like kind of like this inescapable effect to him whenever he would attack, whenever he would evade. He can see it all. He can see through objects, other Kaijus, organic beings, materials such as that, buildings. Dai Kaiju number 1 was easily as devastating as he made him out to be, and when you see Narumi use it, he has the eyes obviously, but he also has a third eye in the bayonet itself, which is kind of jarring. You know what I mean? I mean, you can already see it all. What does more eyes do for you, right? Because the whole notion was he can see it all, but in this chapter, Narumi was able to create like these little destruction orbs that were just able to eviscerate all of the Kaiju around him essentially in one hit. That could tie into the premonition ability, but I mean, is this something that the original Dai Kaiju was able to use, or is this something that Narumi and other Defense Force members who have wielded the Numbered Weapon 1, was this something that they developed that's entirely new? We don't know. Regardless of that, Narumi is a badass and he handled the situation accordingly. So then we flash over and we get on to the good and bad news about what is going on. Narumi deals with the reptile Kaiju that were attacking the wedding. Toku and everybody have made it to the evacuation shelter. You have Narumi in this moment. He radios Hasegawa and he asks for an update. The update that we get, both good and bad news. The good news is that the 1st and 3rd Division are mobilized. They are spread out around Tokyo and they're trying to handle all of the situations. This is when Narumi asks if, hey, what's the report with the backup? That's the bad news about all of this. What I said at the beginning is compounded 10 times over because none of the defense forces are able to come together in order to defeat Kaiju number 9 or in order to stop the threat. I take you back to when they had the anti-Kaiju number 9 meeting where they had all of the defense force bases come together and they had to talk to each other about what it is that they're going to do about Kaiju number 9. And what Vice Captain Hoshina had said, I think at the end of the chapter, is that, look, if we're not all able to come together and work as a team, we're not going to be able to beat this threat. Well, Kaiju number 9, this chapter has shown that he's able to divide the defense force members in the different bases to where they don't have a choice but to try to deal with them in a one-on-one situation. He has attacked them all at one time. He has not given them a moment to even coordinate or anything like that. All of them are just working and trying to deal with this solution as it comes in real time. This is probably worst case scenario for them because you have the Hojo prefecture being attacked, you have the Osaka prefecture, you have the Sendai, and it's an attack that is coming out nationwide by Kaiju number 9. You have that very interesting panel spread where you have Kaiju number 9 playing chess, and yeah, this is all of his game. He is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves ahead of the entire defense force, and you have the defense force basically just playing off the heels of whatever it is that Kaiju number 9 is doing. They're attacking power plants, they're attacking radio towers, transportation hubs, railroad tracks, major metropolitan city areas that are directly tied into the infrastructure of Japan. He plans to completely cripple them with this attack, and if he doesn't finish them off this attack, it's probably worst case scenario. Communication is down, networks to get food and resources to the different, not to just different defense force bases, but also to civilians and anybody who are in those bunkers. You never know how long you're going to be down there. You hope that they're stocked and ready for any tragedy that happens. But if he's able to cut off resources, if he's able to cut off networks to get more resources to those bases, if he's able to cut off the communication to the defense force, they're not able to communicate across these great distances, because what we saw in this chapter, I mean, you have the 6th division holding them off, you got the 1st and 3rd division holding them off. They're in their respected areas. They can't call for help. I mean, they are calling for help, but it's like, yo, what you want me to do? Like, if we lose this particular area, we're gonna be shit out of luck if this continues and drags on for longer and longer. This, of course, Narumi, his head is just about to explode. He doesn't know what to do, so he makes a judgment call, and he was like, all right, release our secret weapon, radio to the main scientist guys, main scientist gals, and tell them to release the beast. All right, we get the panel spread. We see Shawty, she's popping up, and it's none other. We see the big four. The big four pops up on the screen. Oh yeah, it's time. It's time for her to get busy. I have not forgotten the fact that I said this suit was gone. I'm glad it wasn't, because Kikoru is a menace to society, and she is going to fuck shit up. You see, first and foremost, she got a new axe. She has a brand new, less destructible axe. It's about to be round 2 against Kaiju number 9. We don't know where Reno is. We don't know where Kafka is. But that really doesn't matter. I'm interested to see what this suit is going to do. I really don't think I have a prediction on what the suit is designed to do. My best bet is, if I'm just off the top of my head, my best bet is like, it's going to tie into very similar to how Kikoru used the axe before. The ability to increase the cutting power, slashing power, destructibility, being able to just lob off entire limbs of different kaijus. And it had that effect to where it got that boost. I'm just gonna assume that maybe the suit does something similar. Maybe it's even on a more grandiose type of scale. Regardless, she's on her little speeder bike. She's about to head straight to the battlefield. I don't know why. I mean, I think a plane would be a little bit faster. I don't know. Maybe it's just right around the corner. I'm not here to harp on it, because this is what they've been prepared for. And Narumi has to say it upright. Like, I mean, we got to kick their ass. There's nothing else that we can do unless they have some ability to track Kaiju number 9 using one of the kaijus that they have currently, like kind of like a homing beacon. I'm rambling at this point, but I have to give out some form of speculation in regards to that. They have to win in some capacity. I'm talking about the defense force. I don't see them winning this whole incursion. I think we're going to have a repeat of what has been happening leading up to this moment for the past 4 months. They attack, they leave without notice. They attack, they leave. They attack, they leave. The only difference is that they're actually making noise this time. Before, they were just stealing resources, probably doing a lot of scouting work as well. They were at the coastline where they're doing all the fishing. They went to like the oil drum factories and was stealing oil and shit like that. They might not have been stealing it. They might have just been scouting to see when and where to attack, where these areas are weak, and how we can destroy these facilities, in order to put the defense force more on their heels than they are currently now. So I predict that this might end in, again, all of the kaijus just disappearing. Maybe they take out 1 or 2. Well, Narumi's already taken out some, but I'm talking about the major players, like the evil clone of Kikoru, or any of those other 6-7 Daikaijus that we saw pop up and disappear in the past. We haven't seen any of them present currently other than Kikoru, so I'm curious. But I think I've rambled on long enough. If you made it to the end, thank you. If you are new, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. Let me know you rock with the content that I put out on the channel. Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Comment on the video what you think is going to happen in the upcoming chapters. Do you see the defense force being successful in this attack? Do you see any of the defense force members being taken out in this attack? Is it a net win or a net loss in the eyes of the defense force? Because I don't see this being the end of the series, so possibly this is an L for the defense force. And you also have to think this might not be an attack, and you also got to think this might not be the end all be all attack. that Kaiju number 9 is doing. We know that Kaiju number 9 likes to use a lot of distractions, right? He'll send a Kaiju attack in order for him to go and do whatever it is that he needs to do on like the scientific research level in the background, right? When we were first introduced to him, that's how he operated and moved around during the whole training arc exam for the Defense Force. That's what he did when he fought Isayo and gained the numbered weapon 2 suit along with Isayo's body. I don't see him deviating from this plan. There's something that he wants wherever the attacks are happening, and he's going to try to get it. This might be a push to obtain more numbered weapon suits in order to try to bolster his own army of superpowered Daikaiju, villains, so to speak. But those are just my thoughts on the chapter. I will keep the content coming frequent as humanly possible. This video is kind of early, so there you go. And I'm out.